Hey everyone, welcome back to Work Tech. I'm George LaRock, and we've got some more funding news in the industry to talk about today. Compa just closed a $3.9 million seed round. Compa is focused in the world of compensation and in particular employment offers. They call themselves the deal desk in talent acquisition. So I'm really interested in digging in, and I'm joined by the co-founder and CEO Charlie Franklin. Welcome, Charlie.
Thank you. It's great to be here, George.
Yeah, I'm so glad to talk to you because the big deals get so much attention, or the later stage deals, and it's really great to talk about an earlier stage funding round. And this category is particularly interesting with everything going on in the world. It's a very difficult hiring market. Also, there's a lot of focus on issues like pay equity, and I think you address both of those in an interesting way. So tell everybody about yourself and Compa, and then we'll dig in on the deal.
Yeah, thank you. Well, again, it's great to be chatting with you today. My name is Charlie Franklin. I'm co-founder and CEO of Compa. Compa is a new way to create offers. It's kind of like this deal desk for talent acquisition. And of course, we're borrowing from the sales technology metaphor there. I'm an HR practitioner turned entrepreneur. I'm thrilled to be growing our company to help talent acquisition teams compete for talent in a very crazy market. I left Workday in 2020 to found Compa. My background is in HR, mostly in total rewards, with many years in consulting and large enterprise, ultimately to a vendor. And I was frustrated with how hard it is to scale effective decision-making, especially trying to help talent acquisition. They need better tools to manage offers, and comp is just this massively expensive line item for the enterprise. But as you pointed out, it's a deeply personal and important issue for candidates and employees as well. So we saw an opportunity. Our mission is to make compensation fair and competitive for everyone. We're focused on the offer, and we're bringing a set of tools that recruiters really love to help close more candidates.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn a little bit more about that. So before we get into your product, I was really curious because there were, congrats, you had a TechCrunch article on your round, but it mentioned stealth, and I haven't seen a lot of stealth modes recently. And I was curious, as a founder, what put you into stealth mode? What was behind that choice?
As someone who comes from HR, I was kind of a guy who understood the problem and wanted to make sure I got the solution right. What we did, I will say, was not maybe the best kept secret in my world, because what I did is worked with folks in my network. We prototyped and built early versions of the product with HR leaders and practitioners that I met over the years, from consulting to being in-house to being a vendor. And ultimately, that process yielded this focus on talent acquisition. We're thrilled to emerge from stealth. I'm happy to be actually talking about the company with everyone now. Yeah. And we have terrific backing and a focus on getting Compa in the hands of recruiters in a really tough market.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for humoring me on that.
Sure.
So tell me, you've talked a little bit about what led you into this, but maybe a little bit on what you think is happening in the market, and I'm curious about you've got co-founders, so how did this all, the origin story, right? How did it all come together?
Yeah. My co-founders and I have known each other for a long time. Joe and Taylor and I founded the company in 2020. We were motivated by a mission to make compensation fair and competitive for everyone. There's a lot that's happened in the past year and a half that I think has accelerated a focus on that. And I can share more of those thoughts. Joe and I, we actually met back in college. He built his career in software engineering at Facebook. Taylor and I met back in 2016 when we hiked the Inca Trail together in Peru. So we've known each other for a long time. What we saw over the past year and a half was a reshaping of talent markets, where with the transition to remote work, suddenly if you're competing for talent as say a Seattle-based company, you could be hiring folks anywhere in the US or in the world. And for those markets that are not accustomed to like coastal tech or other higher paying markets coming in and getting their talent, they're caught off guard. And what we're learning is that the market is just moving faster than the way that HR teams practice understanding how to compete in the market today. And there's a need for better tools. In addition to that, with all the social change over the past year and a half, it's causing every company to scrutinize their pay practices. And from my experience in actually working on total rewards teams, I saw a need for much better tools to bring your compensation strategy out to the edge where the decision makers are actually practicing and executing on that strategy. So we wanted to build tools that were put in the hands of recruiters and hiring managers and candidates to actually work with the right information at the right time and make it easy to understand and communicate pay. And again, pay is very personal to people. And we see recruiters as trusted financial advisors to their candidates, and they need to be confident that they're putting out the best offer, both as that trusted financial advisor and as stewards of their company's resources.
Yeah. It's interesting when I think back, I would date myself if I told you what that salary data looked like. I was around talent acquisition when it was in binders, and you paid a lot of money for those binders. Then it went to spreadsheets. But a lot of the on the front lines, as to your point, a lot of the impetus is what is it going to take to get this done? And those decisions in the moment get a hire made, but then can create a lot of the problem that we're dealing with now, the inequity, because I don't think most recruiters or most hiring managers are nefarious in how they're paying, but it's literally, hire by hire decisions. And then if you're a 100-person company and you're hiring 50, or if you're a 5,000 person high growth environment, the problem a year or two down the road is just as acute. It's just as painful for you when you have no equity there. So where do you fit in the process, and what does that look like for the hiring team?
Yeah, I think you raised some really good points, and we kind of half jokingly say that the offer is a cause of and solution to all pay problems.
Okay.
Because it is upstream it's at the beginning of the employee compensation life cycle. And so we asked, if recruiters had the tools that they need, what types of outcomes could we plan on and improve at scale by getting the offer right? So we see recruiters as playing an essential role in the compensation strategy and the talent strategy. Hiring managers rely on recruiters to consult on the market and create the best offer, and candidates rely on recruiters as these advisors making a big career change. So we've seen recruiters struggling to manage pay today, whether that's gathering their candidates' pay expectations or juggling different offer scenarios, just finding the right pay guideline or knowing where to start. Compa, we talk about it like this deal desk. It helps recruiters create the best offer and get it over the finish line. So you can gather intelligence and understand the market and find the data that you need, and then importantly, communicate your case to make a stronger offer. And in this wildly competitive market, TA teams, they can't afford to lose their best candidates, especially at the offer stage when you put all that work in. So they need connected data, and they need effective and simple tools to get the deal done.
Yeah. So there must be an awful lot of integration that's happening in order to help these recruiters. So can you speak to what types of systems you're integrating with?
Yeah, absolutely. Compa integrates with the existing technology stack, so data seamlessly integrates and stays secure. We work with growing companies, and we're also built for enterprise. We're SOC 2 certified. We can integrate with Workday and many other systems. TA teams are using Compa on top of their applicant tracking system so they can understand how the market is changing, and it's changing faster today than it was before, especially with the transition to remote work. So we see Compa slotting in as this important tool at the offer stage to scale fair and competitive pay, and frankly, to just close more candidates so that you can keep up with your hiring plan.
Yeah. And So one more question about the product before we get into a little bit on the deal.
Yeah.
The market data, where does that come from? How do you capture that?
The most important source of data for many companies that goes overlooked is actually their own offer history. So if you're a recruiter using one of those old binders, we would talk to folks who literally had a manila folder and they would rifle through it to find a past offer and try and figure out what they've done. And it's even harder to communicate across your team. So one of the things that Compa does is it brings to life your existing offer history by enriching and structuring your compensation data. We have this incredible data science engine that enables apples to apples pay. And so what you can do is automatically track your accept reject rate and build this competitive intelligence dossier that brings in all of your team's history. So actually, the more you hire, the smarter you get over time. And what this does is positions the recruiter to understand, for this candidate, we can predict what's the best offer based on what we're seeing in the market, what we know about their expectations or like a competing offer, but also what we've done about the past and what we know about this company. It's a 360 view so that the recruiter can quarterback the deal process with all the data they need to provide context, both to the hiring manager and to HR and finance, but also to the candidate.
Okay. And it sounds like you could point this tool internally as well when you're, it's a slightly different process, but if you're looking at the history, you're looking at current comp and you're looking at market comp in addressing pay equity. Is that, am I getting into your roadmap now or?
I think that's absolutely in our future. When you create a data science engine that enables apples to apples pay comparison, what you've done effectively, I have an econ degree from college, you lower the transaction costs, you lower the cost of analysis in figuring out how much to pay somebody. And when you do that by a factor of 10 or 100, you can analyze hundreds or thousands of data points at a much lower cost, much faster. And that means there's opportunity for us to point our technology towards other compensation decisions so that from an end-to-end perspective, the employee at the beginning of their life cycle to the end can know that their pay is fair and competitive, and the enterprise knows that they're not getting folks who might be unstuck from market trends and at risk of leaving.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for letting me dig in on the product so much. I think everybody in the audience will appreciate that. So let's talk about the deal. What was it like? This was your first, run as a founder, but raising funds in a pandemic. What I know you don't have anything to compare it to, but how did that process go for you?
We weren't making flights and drives over to Sand Hill Road on the peninsula. We were doing everything virtually. We founded Compa in 2020. So we've been remote from the beginning, and that includes fundraising. When we met with investors last year and this year, they saw the same macro trends in HR tech that we see, which is just this greater need for automation and intelligent platforms and just creating these experiences for employees and candidates that scale. The offer is a moment that really matters economically and personally. And our investors saw that, and we were able to tell that story with lots of examples from my past experience actually working in HR to the folks that have been early adopters of Compass technology. So we're thrilled to have an amazing team of backers. Hope to meet them in person someday.
Okay. That's amazing. You haven't met them in person yet. It's just, so many people have taken jobs and done so many things that they would, but it's just the thought of, the validation that you received and this funding and, there's that proverbial handshake, right? That didn't happen. So
the new world.
Yeah, it really is. So what are your plans for the funding?
Yeah, well, we're using our funding to expand our core product offering and just continue building out our vision for a talent acquisition deal desk. We have a growing base of customers, and we're excited to help more TA teams create winning offers. And especially now in this market, we're eager to get Compa into more talent acquisition teams' hands so they can experience what it's like to actually understand your competition, track your accept reject rate, and automate creating offers that are fair and competitive. So at this stage, it's really about growing the product and growing our reach in the market.
Okay. Okay. And for anybody that's interested in learning more, where can they find out more about you and about the deal and the company?
Yeah, well, you're welcome to check us out on our website. We're at trycompa.com. You can also find us on LinkedIn and Twitter. And we plan to be attending the HR Tech Conference in September, coming up very soon.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, hey, thank you for your time. Congrats again on the seed round. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, George. Pleasure chatting with you today.
All right. Thanks, everyone.